Hello everyone and welcome to the channel again. So today we are going to learn about CIDR notation. Okay, so what is CIDR notation? So CIDR notation stands for Classless Inter-Domain Routing. Okay, so this plays a very important role when you set up an architecture mainly in any cloud network, whether it is Azure, AWS or a GCP, right? So IP address can be of two types. One is IPv4, one is IPv6. Let's understand more on IPv4 today. Okay, so when we go here, so any IP address that is IPv4 will be divided into four different brackets. Let's say like this 1 2 3 and this is fourth. Okay, and each unit here or each byte is given 1 minute 8 bits. Okay, 8 bits here, 8 8 8, so total it sums to 32 bits per IP address. Okay, 32 bits per IP address. Now each bit here can have a range from 0 to 255. Okay, similarly this is can have 0 to 255, 0 to 255. Okay, now what happens is when we create a virtual network or in AWS when we create a VCP, so we need to give a CIDR notation. Okay, for a small network, let's say when you are creating a virtual network in Azure, and if it is a small network, then what you will do is you will give a this CIDR notation like 192.168.0 dot some x number. Okay, where this x belongs to number from 0 to 255, right? Okay, so you can give here the same number as 192.168.1.0. Okay, so this number can vary from 0 to 255. When it is a large network, we give it from the range of 172.116.x.x. Okay, so what does it mean? This value will vary from 0 to 255, and again this value will vary from 0 to 255, right? Okay, then we have a very large network. So let's say if your architecture requires to create a very large network, in that case you will create with the numbers like 10.x. Okay, that's a very simple architecture. Now when you will create like this, okay, so when I say 192.168.0.0 to 192.168 dot, this is 0, right? So it can vary up to 255, this one as well 255. Okay, so what we have seen here is so this is x cross x wala scenario. Okay, now if we go next, so it is 8 bytes, right? So here fixed is, oh my bad, 255. Let me change the color. So it is fixed part is 60. If we do the simple calculation, so 8 bit 8 bit 8 bit and 8 bit, fixed is 16, so we can write it as a 16, right? Now looking at the above number, let's create another number here, another range, basically 192.168.1.0. so what we are doing is we have fixed here one number, 2. What we want to do is 192.168.1 dot, since it is from 0 it can go to 255, correct? So this time it is ranging from this is a fixed number. Okay, so this is a fixed number, this is x, and this is 0 to 255. So in this case, how many are the fixed? So 8 8 8 are fixed, so it is 24, right? Only one is varying here. Okay, now if we have to write like this, so what we have understood from here is number of IP addresses is inversely proportional to CIDR range, or when we block the face. So this is called when we block it, so that number and that range. Okay, now what does it mean is, if you are writing /24, then in that case you will be having 256 IP addresses available in that range, right? Because /24, if we see what is the /24 condition, this one. So if we look into this one, so IP range is from 0 to 255. So 255 plus 0, that is 256. One extra IP address, that is 256 IP addresses we will create it. Okay, in place of /16, we will get around 65,536 IP addresses. Okay, let's see if we have a 16 case. Yes, because the value will change from 0 to 255 here. Okay, then 0, it will be going like 192.168.0.1 to 255, this one. And then it will be 168.0 dot at 0 dot 0.2 to 255, then 3, similarly it will go to till 255, then this value will change. So it will have so many variants, so many numbers here. Okay, so it will have 65,536 IP addresses. Then if we have /8, okay, in that case you will get 1,67,700, if I'm not wrong, 216 IP addresses. Okay, in this case this much of IP addresses you will get. Okay, so this is what I was saying here, right? The number of IP addresses is inversely proportional to the range. So larger the number, bigger the number here, slash this block range, larger the number, smaller the number of IP addresses. Okay, smaller the number, bigger the number of range we have. Okay, so mostly /8 will be used in very big VNet or architecture. This will be mid-range and this will be small in range. Okay, so this is what we have. Now let's understand this whole concept in one story. Okay, so we have one. Okay, now let's understand complete story into in the same architecture. So let's say you need to create one virtual town. Okay, so there was one architect whose name was, okay, so in a company, so in an older time there was a architect. Okay, he was assigned a task to set up a lane, basically area where he has to set up a complete town basically. Okay, so when he was creating a virtual town, you consider it as a VNet. Okay, virtual town as a VNet. So he was asked to, okay, his king asked him to set up a virtual town, where all the resources are there, security is there, scalability should be there, all those things should be possible. Okay, so architect accepted this offer, and he started creating a virtual town. When he started creating a virtual town, he first gave the range of IP address for his virtual town as 10.0.1.0 slash. Okay, so he started creating, let's say like this. Okay, 10.0.0 slash 16. Okay, so in a 16, what we have learned, if it is /16, how many IP addresses we will get? We will get the range of IP addresses from 65,536 IP addresses. Okay, so which means inside this virtual town, okay, around 65,000 we can create the number of IP addresses. Okay, so first he created, inside a virtual network, he created a central district. Okay, what he created was, he created one central district. In a central district, let me erase it. Okay, in a central district, he gave the range of IP addresses from 192.168.1.0/24, right? So which means total 256 IP addresses we can accommodate inside the central district. Okay, this central district was having a critical appliances. So all the critical appliances he has kept into a subnet. This is called subnet. Okay, so inside a subnet, when he gave this IP address range, right, 192.168.1 to 192.168.1.255, which means there are 256 unique IP addresses can be assigned inside the central district, and these are isolated. Now he got a chance, I mean he was asked to create a critical database quarters as well, because when he was creating the IP addresses, he was creating virtual machines, he also was asked to create a database quarter. Okay, so in next continuation to the CIDR notation, what he did is from 1 he gave it to 2 and /24. So what does it mean? How many IP it got? This particular database quarter it got. Any guesses? Yes, it got come total 256 IP addresses here as well. Okay, then what he thought is he will also go and create a data warehouse zone. Okay, so in a warehouse zone he created a next IP range, that is 192.168.3.0, and then he gave 28. Now what is this 28? So it means, as we told, in an 4-bit of IP address, 32-bit of IP address, if 28 is blocked, okay, so 32 and 28, what is the remaining? 4, right? If we subtract, so 2 to the power 4 equals to 16. So how many IP addresses are allocated here? 16 IP addresses are allocated here, right? So 16 IP addresses he gave it on the warehouse zone. So if you can see, it is, this warehouse zone is also in it is smaller in size compared to others. So he gave 16 IP. The remaining IP addresses he gave it to the public plaza. Okay, so the people or whoever is going to live into this virtual zone, they can come and they can communicate directly through the internet. Okay, so public plaza, what will happen is some resources need exposure to the internet, so public subnet with a unique public IP addresses will be assigned here. So anything which we need to communicate, which can be communicated through public IP address. Now how the communication between these two subnets will happen, we are going to learn in the upcoming sessions. But today what we have learned is, today we have learned about the CIDR notation, right? So just to recap what we have learned, right? What is CIDR? CIDR stands for Classless Inter-Domain Routing. For IPv4 routing, there are, let's say, four blocks are there, 1 2 3 4. Each blocks will contain 8 bits, right, which will in total will become 32 bits per IP address. Now each bit will have a range from 0 to 255. Small network will have a range from 192.168 and 192.168.1.0, like this. Large network will have 2 more spaces available, so that more number of IP addresses will be assigned. Then we have very large network, right? Very large network, like what does that mean? Very large networks means it will be like 10.x.x.x. Okay, so what also we have learned is number of IP addresses is inversely proportional to the CIDR block per range. What does that mean? If the higher the number, let's say here 8, okay, higher the number, smaller the number of IP ranges we will get. Okay, smaller the number, for example here we will get maximum number of IP ranges. Okay, and we have also seen here, okay, there was an architect, he was given a chance to set up one complete area or a town. To set up a town, he has created a central district. In a central district, he has created a virtual town. So virtual town he has given with some IP address like 10.0.0.0/16, like, so if 16 means how many IP addresses it will contain? It will contain 65,536 IP addresses. Okay, so inside this 255 IP addresses he has given to set up a central district. Then for a database district he has given 255 IP addresses. 28 means 16 IP addresses he has given it to warehouse zone, because he might have to keep small amount of warehouse materials. And then remaining all IP addresses he has given it to the public, so all the people who are staying here, they can come here and they can access the internet. Okay, so I hope you have all understood what is CIDR notation. Okay, thank you and have a nice day.